Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Forceful Anime. Today we are back with a brand new fanfic. Video title, Naruto Betrayed by Sakura and the Village, Uzumaki Clan Rebuilds, Part 3. If you enjoyed this fanfic, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon for more amazing anime fanfics. And now, let's begin the story. Let's video start. Complete your dream. From Hinata. Kurana whispered to her in the arena. Well, father, it looks like I underestimated you slightly. Hinata admitted while preparing her next jutsu. Hai said nothing as he charged at Hinata while she did her hand seals. Heikroku Juan show 8 triagrams 64 palms. Hai began attacking Hinata until he hit her 64 times, making Hinata cough up blood. Give up. I have closed all 64 of your chakra points. You can't use chakra, so how can you defeat me? Hai smirked, but that automatically turned into a frown as Hinata was smirking. I won't give up. No matter what you throw at me, I never give up as that is my ninja way. Hinata coughed up more blood, still smiling. Neji's eyes widened as he remembered what caused him to change his attachment to fate. Flashback 8 years ago. I have closed all 64 of your chakra points. You can barely stand. And without chakra, your fight is a hopeless one. I won't give up. No matter what you throw at me. That's my ninja way. I'm not attached by fate like you. Unless you find something precious to protect, you'll never grow strong. Why don't you give up? Because I was called a failure and I'll prove you wrong. How? You shouldn't be able to use chakra. Quote, I'm not attached to fate. I flunked the academy test 3 times. If a failure like me could do this, imagine what a genius like you could do. End. Flashback. Why don't you give up without chakra? Your fight is a hopeless one. Hi. She waited for something to happen next. I will win because my will to win is stronger than yours. Hinata shouted as she started to gain increased chakra. How? You shouldn't be able to use chakra. First gate, Kamankai. Second gate, Kamankai. Sweden Kami water release. Divine wave. Hinata summoned an enormous wave that soaked the whole arena and hit Hiashi at point blank range, nearly killing him. The medics quickly grabbed him and started to heal him. And they then put him on a stretcher and stopped him from bleeding because he bled when he hit the ground. Without that quick medical attention, he would have definitely died. Hinata-sama is the winner and the new head of the Hyuga. The branch member announced, Enjoy. You did it, Hinata. I'm proud. Kurana congratulated her. Go, Hinata, you are awesome. Ka shouted. Mom, that girl with purple-blue hair is cool. Kurina's son said. Yes, she is. Kurinai smiled. Danzo the Hokage frowned. He had expected that girl to lose, and with this he lost the support of the Hyuga. Hinata was so happy she won. It took all of her chakra to do that attack. The power of the 8 gates took their toll on her and she passed out. I wonder how Hinata-sama managed to counter the effects of Gentle Fist. I must ask her about it later. Congratulations, Hinata-sama. But how will you remove the cursed seal? The elders don't even know how to. Neji frowned as they would need a skilled Fujitsu master such as Jiraiya of the Sinning, but he left with Naruto. 3 days later, Kakashi, who was on the war front, opened a letter. News from the Leaf. A girl from the main house called Hinata challenged the Hyuga council head, Hyuga Hiashi. The girl had amazing ability and was able to counter the Gentle Fist through unknown means and unleashed an S-rank jutsu at the end, putting Hyuga Hiashi on the verge of death. She is now the new head of the Hyuga clan. Good for you, Hinata. Good for you, Kakashi thought as he went to sleep. Kanagakar Konohamaru was the fastest improving person in all of Konoha. He became Jonin at 15, Chunin at 13, and Genin at 11. Hardly anyone advanced to Jonin at 15. Kurenai, known as the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha, did not advance until 26. Asuma advanced at 20 and Guy managed to make Jonin at 17. Of this generation's elite, Jonin, he was only beaten by Kakashi, who advanced at 13. He didn't bother wearing the Jonin vest since he hated it. It was an offense to the current Usuzu Shioka to have them wearing their village symbol on their vest since he learned about Usuzu Shioka and managed to find out that Konoha denied them in their times of need. He began to hate his village more and more, but knew there was nothing to do besides wait for the next Hokage, who he just hoped could change the village. So, he pushed himself to his limits every day trying to make himself the next Hokage. Sasaki made Jonin at 17. He was an arrogant bastard as always. Thinking everyone in Konoha was inferior to him, he now had a mango sharing. He began to hate Sakura more and more and considered her nothing more than a weakling. Sasaki became rather unhappy 1 year after Naruto's banishment since he discovered that the Dobi was his greatest challenge and it was his fault that he grew stronger. Sakura, on the other hand, was happy Naruto left as she considered him the only obstacle between Sasaki and herself. However, she discovered that Sasaki still didn't even consider her a friend. So, she kept trying, but all her attempts failed up to date and she is still trying. The Voyager's office, 11:30 a.m. A week later. I am assigning you to an S-rank mission. You are to find out information about Uzu Shioka, such as their technology, their food supply, anything. Your squad leader is Yui Kurana, and you will leave tomorrow. Danzo assigned them their mission. Hokage-sama, who will take care of my child? Kurenai asked. Asuma is coming home in a few hours. I have informed him of everything. Danzo stated. I understand, Hokage-sama. Kurenai said. You are all dismissed. Danzo said. Shino, Sakura, Ka, and Kurana left the office. And shrunk. If we get caught spying there, then we will die, get tortured, or be used as leverage. I want to see my son after tomorrow and I'll have too many regrets to die. But this is an S-rank mission, and I can't refuse. Karani thought sadly. Ka had a different thought on this mission. No one's ever been there and back from another village as spies. If I manage to do that, it'll be awesome. 900 a.m. It takes a full 2 days to get to Uzu Shioka. Ino looked at the map. Yes, it does, and we can't risk getting detected by them, so this mission will take a while. Kurenai stated. Oh, we have to do stupid things like running around the borders then. Ka groaned. Shut it, dog breath. Sakura yelled. It is logical that you do not get your temper any higher than it already is. Shino said. What did you say? The cherry blossom yelled. Shino, just leave her. Ka told his friend. We have to get moving. Karani started to run toward the direction of Usuzu. A few hours later, we'll eat lunch over here. Karani stopped at a restaurant. You know, Sakura, but if the Uzukage is like the ghost of Naruto and we get captured before we see anything, then he'll probably just let us out blindfolded and keep torturing you because you called him a demon and stuff. Ka joked. Dog breath, one more time. You annoy me and you are as good as dead. Sakura raised her fist to indicate she was serious. Oh, please, you are just a lowly tunin. You can't threaten me. Ka mocked her. You are dead. Dog breath dead. Sakura charged at Ka. Swap it. You too, Karani ordered. 1 day and 12 hours later, 6 a.m. border of Usuzu no Kuni. Remember the plan. Sneak into the border without drawing attention. Then listen to gossip in town surrounding Usuzakur and find out as much as you can. Then if you can find out a way into Ushuga, we do that and see the town. Collect as much information as you can. Kurenai told her team. Alright, Akamaru, ready for this. If we're not careful, it could mean our deaths. Ka told his partner. Akamaru gave out a low growl and looked at the border. Shino scouted the area ahead with his bugs, but found nothing. Kurini simply looked ahead since she had nothing else to do. Sakura looked around. She only saw a typical row of buildings and some high walls. Karani-sensei, is this it? I can't even see any border patrol here. Ka said. My bugs detect no life force in the area ahead. Shino informed. Something's wrong. Be on your guard. Karani casted a genjutsu that made the whole team invisible, and the group started to slowly and stealthily approach the border. They scanned the area and figured that there would be traps on the walls, so they moved inside the building using everything they could discover. Then they suddenly approached a large corridor. They slowly walked through it, but they were unaware that a camera watched their every move. Usuzaka, a 6-foot tall blonde, had woken up just a few minutes ago. He brushed his teeth and checked the borders. Then he saw his former friends and their sensei approaching on his screen. He looked through the video cameras. He looked at the way they approached the building and moved through it. It would have worked with other buildings, but Usuza's border didn't even need manpower to keep it safe. The camera was trained to recognize the identification seals he put on all the members of Usuzaku so they wouldn't attack them. They attacked all other people who dared enter the border with all kinds of weapons. They were all non-lethal, though. Naruto knew he would have to use man border patrol instead of his cameras and robots once the technology of Uzuyo was discovered, but not before that. Well, time to go meet them. Naruto put his headband on and shoved his mask on and got dressed. Border. The 4 people were walking across the corridor when suddenly a great blast of electricity fried Akamaru by surprise. Ka's dog struggled to get up but failed. Akamaru! Ka yelled. The door to Usuzu and the way back outside had shut. They were trapped. A large amount of knockout gas was released and all of the Konoha ninja passed out. I expected them to last longer, the Usuzu said as he teleported all of them to the hospital and applied chakra suppression seals on them. Usweka, hospital. Ka slowly opened his eyes, seeing himself on a bed in a hospital. Akamaru was by his side. Oh, where am I? Ka mumbled. You are in Usuzu no Sado trespasser. I would like you to state why you have trespassed into our country. The medic told the Inuzuka. I won't tell you ever. The Inuzuka replied. Very well, but our best medic can easily get that out from you. She does not play nice, so you may want to answer. It is better than facing her torture. The medic said. I'll never bark. You'll have to make me spit it out. Ka growled. I see, the medic said to the Konoha ninja. She was still staring at him in a completely straight way. Not frowning, not smiling. She had brown hair tied in a ponytail and wore a white shirt. Ka couldn't see the lower part of her body. Not like he cared. He wondered what happened to his sensei and his teammate. He didn't care about the pink-haired fangirl. He was thinking about them until he saw Shino and Kurana across the room. Asami Uzuki-sama wants to see the trespassers. A medic in a black vest said understood Yun-sama 5 minutes later. How are you feeling, Konoha ninja? A deep voice asked the Inuka. Not good thanks to you. Or missing ninja not Konoha ninja. Ka tried to act. You think I would not recognize the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha, the great bug of Konoha and the great fang of the leaf? I might not recognize the pink-haired girl, but since she was in your squad, I can also safely assume that she is with you. Also, I highly doubt that you would be missing ninja. Even though you have no headband or identification, I really don't think ninja of your caliber would defect so easily. I also know that you are very loyal to your village. Therefore, you are here to spy on user. The voice came closer to Ka. He saw a man wearing a mask in the traditional cage uniform with the kanji whirlpool. The only things he could actually clearly see about the man were his blue eyes and his muscular build. I will see your teammates now. You will be placed into a containment cell until further notice. The UK left car. A couple of people wearing steel masks with black armor dragged car to the containment cell. With Sakura. Haruno Sakura slowly opened her eyes and glanced around the place. She was in an area with wooden tiles and many beds. She quickly figured out it was a hospital. A man was standing before her with a cage-like hat. So, she decided that she was an Uzushioka in the hospital and the UK was standing in front of her waiting to interrogate her. No, that's stupid. Why a cage of an important village waste time on us? He'll probably send his underlings to do that. Hello, Kunoichi of the Leaf. I assume that came here to do a spy mission and you were sent by your Hokage Danzo. Your teammate Ka is from the Inuzuka clan because he has the markings of the Inuzuka on his face, and your teammate Shino is from the Aram clan as he uses bugs to shield an attack. Your leader is Yui Kurana, the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha. I know all of this and your names as my cameras saw everything and heard everything including your whispers. I saw you nearing my border but didn't do anything as you didn't cross it. When you did, my cameras started to attack you and knocked you unconscious. I then brought you to Uzu. The UK finished. He knew them all and would know their names even if they weren't whispering. Why didn't you kill us? Sakura asked. Simple. Because your Hoage would demand repercussions and deny that you ever crossed my border. But now I have you and I have proof so I can find the Hokage. Whatever the case, your life is in my hands. It wasn't wise of your Hokage to do this, especially since you are in a war. The UK replied. He had already stolen the mission file with his spy in Konoha. What's going to happen to us now? Sakura continued asking. You and your teammates are going to be stuck in the same cell. The seals I placed on you make it impossible to use chakra and physical strength. Don't even bother trying. The Uzukage told her and left to see Shino after signaling those same people with black masks too. With Shino Aram, I believe you and your team are guilty of intruding Uska. You will be placed in a cell until further notice. All you cow bugs have been suppressed inside your body, so you will be unable to know anything about our village. Also, all of your team will be taken to the interrogation chamber. The Uzukage told Shino. How do you know so much about our clan? Shino observed. I fought with some Aram in the past, so I analyzed their abilities. The Osuzuki used a cover story. It was half true as he disposed of Fu and Toon and placed them in cells. He didn't demand any repercussions from any village because of how he could easily deal with them. He knew he was getting arrogant in his ability, but he decided to demand repercussions for these four, at least giving them a reasonable reason to leave. He didn't like the thought of keeping most of the former Team 8 and one of the members of Team 7 in a cell. If he decided to let go of any of them, he would wipe out a huge amount of that person's memory and send them back to the village. Luckily, he didn't have to do that to anyone yet, as most of the villagers only sent one group of spies. The exception was Danzo. He sent at least 5 teams to Usuzakur, and this was the 6th. I understand Usuzuke-sama. Shino knew it was best to not deny he was from Konoha as the Uzuke had found out about his Kiku. Shino was then dragged to the same containment cell Kiba and Sakura were currently in. Lastly, Kurinai-san, I will say the same things I told your teammates to you. You are guilty of trying to sneak into Usuzakur. You will be placed into a containment cell until further notice. Also, I suppose you're worried about your son, Hiroen Yui Seruto, and I know you didn't want to come here in fear of getting caught and being unable to see him again. The Osuzuki said he gave out that he knew this information because he already had a cover story to back it up. He didn't want to say he had a spy. How did you know? She asked, shocked that this UK knew such information. Simple. I was traveling in Ume no Kuni using a hench when an adorable black-haired boy came up to me. We had a small conversation where he told me his name. This was believable as Naruto was in Ume Ninkuni that time and he knew about this mysterious man that the boy had encountered while Natalie running off to find his mom. So he decided to take advantage of it. He only knew one person who had eyes that looked like a dojutsu and he only knew a few Saratobi members. He knew Asuma and Kurini had secretly been dating. So that came to one conclusion. Kurinai was dragged and out with the rest of her team in the cell. Damn it. Ka slammed the reinforced glass an eighth time. Calm down, dog breath. As the Uzukachi said, we won't get through here with physical strength. Sakura told Ka, how the hell did we get caught? We did everything fine. Ka groaned and made a few growling sounds. From what Usuzuki-sama told Sakura, he was watching us through some kind of technology. He caught us before we crossed the border. Shino told his team. Maybe the Uzukachi really is Naruto's ghost. Ka suggested. Ever since Naruto's banishment, you suggest every strong person we meet is Naruto's ghost. What's wrong with you? Sakura glared at Ka as she lost Ino as a friend 8 years ago in the banishment. So, she didn't like being reminded of that incident. No one even talked to her like a friend since then. But it wasn't like she cared. Karani was in her head. She was thinking about how she would never see her son again. Oruma. Shino was thinking about his clan and how he would never get to use his kicker again. Ka was thinking about how both he and Akamaru would rot in the prison. And Sakura was obviously thinking about Sasaki. Osuzaku the Uzukage's office. So, how's life, kid? A familiar white-haired old man said. Erozen, how's writing your book going? Naruto the Uzukage asked horribly. Every hot woman I see almost kills me when I jot down something on my notepad. Jiraiya informed his student. Good. Nurse said. So what's up? You don't look too good. Jiraiya observed. It's just that the stupid mummy Danzo sent teammate excluding Hinata to spy on me. What the hell do I do if Danzo refuses to pay for them? I don't want to kill them. Naruto voiced his problems to the Toad Sage. Keep them in prison, Jiraiya told him. And prevent Karani sensei from seeing her kid and make him and Asuma sensei worry infinitely for his wife. Nurse said. It's not your fault, kid. It's Danzo's. He sent them on an S-rank mission the moment Kurinai came out from retirement. And by Konoha's law, you can't refuse an S-rank mission. Also, losing the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha would be bad for this war. So, as long as the price for them isn't too high, hell take them. Jiraiya explained. Hey Brad, how's it going? A female voice asked. Karani sensei and her team minus Hinata replacement Sakura came to spy on me. Ner informed the female's son. Where's Karani? I need to catch up with her. The female Sonnen asked. No. They'll find out I'm the Uzukachi like that since they know you ran off with me. Naruto stated. HMP. The Sonnen grumbled. Konoha 3 days earlier. Where's Karani? Asuma asked the old Hokage. I sent her on an S-rank mission 1 hour ago. The Hokage answered. You what? Asuma growled angrily. I sent her on an S-rank mission 1 hour ago. The Hokage repeated. An S-rank. You sent her on an S-rank the moment I came back. And where to? Asuma couldn't control his anger and yelled, Osushiokur. No. Sad. Danzo replied, never leaving his emotionless face. What? I request to go to her aid. Hokage-sama. Asuma continued to growl. Request denied. For a 2 period, you are not allowed to take any missions as Kurana has left. You will instead take care of your kid. Danzo told him. Asuma continued to groan and grumble until he left. Present cell. How can we get out? Ka asked desperately. Since there is reinforced glass instead of bars, we cannot break through. And since all our ninja tools have been taken, we cannot make an explosion. So the only ways to get out would be to make Uzuk-sama release us or make one of his subordinates do it. Shino said. Sakura suddenly got an idea. Are there any vents? She asked. Yes, but it is also guarded with a cage surrounding it. Shino told her. Then our best option would be to wait until Uzuk-sama demands repercussions for us sneaking into the border. Hopefully, Hokage-sama will pay for our release. Karani told her team, but she had doubts about that. Sakura gave up hope of ever escaping and slept on her bed. Karani looked for the emergency explosive tag in knives she hid in her shoe. But unfortunately, she couldn't find any because the metal detector and paper detectors that watched out for all enemy shinobi and prisoners' emergency items revealed them. They worked by pointing red lights at every metal tool the person had. Ka was still trying to shatter the reinforced glass and Shino was thinking about everything he might lose if the Hokage refuses to pay the fine. Inuzuka Kiba, your interrogation session will begin now. A voice from outside said. Ka gulped. He wondered whether these were like any of Ibiki's interrogations. He saw one of those and thought he would immediately break if he went through one of those. A metal mask-wearing black-armored female took him to the interrogation room. It wasn't what he expected. He expected something similar to Ibiki's dark cave. This room was bright. It had wooden tiles as floor and a simple place where his head was placed. It was similar to the thing that Anoichi used to hold people while he entered their minds. The Uzukage appeared and Ka immediately shouted at him, "You damn bastard! When I get out of this, I'll rip you apart. Perhaps I could easily make your face physical pain, but I'm simply wiping parts of your memory that hold information on my village. I'm sure your Hogue would do the same." The Usuzu told him as he started his jutsu. Kami no Shinten, god of mind. Ner quickly erased all the memories that contained information such as their knowledge of cameras and simply kept the bits that made sense with each other so they wouldn't be confused. He then looked for information on Konoha. He found quite a bit of stuff, but he didn't look at their personal life as he didn't want to intrude. Each of them contained information on Konoha, which he looked through. When everything was finished, and Kurana's team were all back in that cell, the Uzuke simply began writing a letter. Dear Hokage-sama, 4 of your ninjas have been found sneaking around my border. I have taken them captive, and you are not allowed to have your ninjas enter Ukuni as I have not allowed it. It is clear that they were trying to get information about my village. I would like to talk to you about the consequences of your actions. Meet me in Takiaja in the hall built in front of the ancient waterfall 5 days from when the letter reaches you. Bring as many guards as you want. The Usuzukage of Usuzu Shioka. 3 days later, Danzo growled when he read it. It was his first sign of emotion in front of other people in 8 years. Usuzu Shioka. I can be your bodyguard, Naruto. Kazuki said. No, Kazuki-sensei. I'll go alone, Ner firmly stated. But if they try something? Kazuki asked. I have shadow clones. Ner replied. You fine, just don't mess anything up. Kazuki told his student. Konoha will receive a fine of 8 million ryo. I will make it clear that I don't trust him as a cage wouldn't. I wish to hide my identity for as long as possible. I have already shown favoritism, but I suspect Danzo will think it is because of their war effort. He never sent worthwhile people before. Anyway, Ner explained what his actions were. I understand, his sensei said. Soon, Operation Kiri will start. Ner stated as he teleported to the gates. Takiga 5 days later. Danzo looked at the Uzukage as he sat right in front of him. He could tell that whoever it was, the person was in his early to mid-20s. He masked his appearance quite well. The only traits someone could notice would be his shoulder-length blonde bangs and his gleaming blue eyes. Danzo, on the other hand, looked like a underscore who could barely walk. Danzo also felt a bright, sunny, cheery, but also a powerful aura from this blonde. However, he didn't fear that. Hokage-sama, please sit down. The blonde told the Hokage. The Cyclops agreed and pulled out a chair. Osuzuki-sama, before we talk, I have a question. Danzo spoke to the Uzukage. And what might that be? The Cage asked curiously. Why did you attack my squad that was simply passing by Osuzuki-sama? Danzo revealed his question. They crossed the border of Uzunoni, so I had to stop them from spying. The Osuzuki said, I have no idea what you are talking about. They were on their way to a businessman in Kamari. No Kuni, do not make false claims, Osuzuki. Sama. Danzo fiercely spoke back to the UK. No, they did cross the border. And here's your proof. The Osuzuki brought out a weird thing with a bunch of buttons in a screen and put in a disc. He then made the screen face the old Hokage and he watched it. It showed Karina and her team walking past the border and then suddenly get knocked about by the knockout gas. Osuzuki-sama, I would expect better from you. You simply played out the event to bring this thing as evidence. Danzo said as he didn't know what to call it, Hokage-sama. Do you really think Kuren and her team would have stayed still and let themselves be knocked out once again? The Osuzuki gave him a question that made the Hokage think his previous statement was stupid. I suppose you can name your price as that is what we came here to discuss the release of the team. Danzo said, changing the subject. I believe 15 million Ryo would work. The UK told Danzo he knew that he would have to lower that price though. 15 million Ryo. Osuzuki-sama. Don't you think that is too much for 4 shinobi? One is an elite Jan. 2 of them are mid-Jin. But one is a pink-haired Chunin that is devoid of talent. Danzo calmly told the Uzukage. Unfortunately, Hokage-sama, they hold some of my secrets, and those do not come cheap. The Uzukage lied. A few small secrets and 3 Jonin do not equal 15 million Ryo. Danzo argued, alright, just for your sake and Konohasake, I will lower it to 12 million Ryo. The Uzukage told Danzo, Uzukage-sama, understand that my shinobi are at war, so I cannot currently spend so much money. Danzo tried to make the Uzukage feel sympathy. Then surely you had something better to do than try to invade Uzunoni. The Uzukage raised a point. Unfortunately, I had to check if you would ally with Iwa and become a threat later. So, I needed the information. Danzo said, I see. My last offer is 10 million Ryo. If you do not take it, then I will keep these 4 ninja. The UK said, very well, I agree. The Hokage said, hoping whatever secrets Kurana and her team brought were worth it. Very well. 3 of my ninja will be there at Nami Ninkuni at the Great Narud Bridge to exchange the money with the people. They will be there 3 days from now, the UK stated. I'm afraid I must leave now as I have pressing matters to attend to. Danzo said he left with his escorts. I'm almost surprised he didn't try using his mango sharing. Osuzu Shioka was a great big bustling town. It was bigger than Konoha but had less minor towns around it. The Osuzu brought great happiness and people thought of it as a land of peace. The Osuzu made many special divisions. One was the police unit where there were civilian police to stop civilian burglars. They used a special kanai launcher. So they only needed experience in marksmanship. Ninjas could easily dodge these though. Another was a striking team. It was designed to quickly wipe out an enemy force through traps, sabotage, and strategies. There was a science division. The head was a person who was formerly of Orochimaru's subordinates. Her name was Usuzumaki Karen. There were plenty of other divisions. The Ninja Inventors Division, the Weapons Division, the Sensors Division, the Intelligence Division, the Illusion Division, the Medical Division, the Assassin Division, the Interrogation Division, and the Combat Division. The Ninja Inventors Division head was Kazuki because he invented the most useful stuff Uzushioka had. The Weapons Division head was called Wadabi Kosuke. He was from a samurai clan and made the very best weapons with the most skill in them except Naruto. The medical head was obviously Tsunade as she was the best medic in Yong in the village, Shizune too. But these medics were more skilled than the medics in Konoha. The head of the intelligence division would be Jera. But he went to be the head of the striking team. And the rules of Usuzu state that you can't be the head of two divisions. The division signified the jobs of a ninja and what type of ninja the person wanted to be. Any ninja who was genin rank or higher could enter a division that genin would specialize in that area. But again, these divisions weren't mandatory for people to be in and they could just be normal ninja. The people in divisions did not have to specialize in one area. They could also specialize in more areas and they weren't bind to the area their division specialized in. As for the council, they were made up of the division heads. The Usuzu could remove the council members if they committed treason and so, but they could also lose their position by losing the support of their respective division. If enough of the people said that they didn't like their respective division head to be a council member and then the Uzukachi could remove the person from the council and being the division head to allow people to pass freely through Uzukachi. Once anyone becomes a citizen of Uzunoni, a complex seal is made on them. It allows identification so the cameras and the guards at the front don't attack them. Seal hardens as soon as it is put and is impossible to get rid of without knowing a lot about. Even with a seal master like Jiraiya, even if your limb was cut off, it would move to your arm until every piece of your body was cut up. Then it would simply disappear. Studying the formula wouldn't be enough to remove it. Mixed with that seal, there is a jutsu seal to prevent people with jutsus like the Hyuga to be advantageous against them. Kanagaka Hanata tried and tried, but she couldn't find a way to remove the caged bird seal without Fujitsu. And without anyone to teach her, she was clueless. So, she only had one option, find Jiraiya. But without a mission to do so, she would be branded a missing ninja. She didn't have a plan. So, she simply waited for what? For nothing. There was no chance that the toad sage came back to the village. So, she simply settled for treating the branch members with the same respect as the main members. Ni counted the Jukin because she didn't want to say she got an anonymous note with 2 bottles that forced Tenkitsu points open. Meanwhile, Danzo was furious that the team learned absolutely nothing and the Uzukachi duped him by making them worth more by saying they carried his secrets. He had been a fool to believe that he still had Kaharu and Homiera as advisors since his first order as Hokage was to accuse Kakashi and Tsunade of cooperating together to frame Kaharu. But he said Kakashi was needed in the war effort. He declared the 2 Sons rank missing ninja and Naruto in a rank missing ninja to be captured and the 2 Sonin were to be killed on sight. Kakashi deeply regretted his actions of being hated by Naruto since he came to Ambu. He failed his sensei by not carrying out his last order, but he thought the boy was safe with Surbi. He didn't know his teammate Ren was dead for sure, but she left the village and resigned as a shinobi of the leaf a year after his other teammate Obito died. He wasn't allowed to look for her, and she made it clear she didn't want to be found. Even when he carried out a few searches for her during other missions, she was never there. She was good at hiding herself if she wasn't dead. But Kakashi knew that Ren was bad at hiding herself. She could never do it in the academy or when she became Chunin. Part 3 complete. Next part 4 tomorrow.